Russia fired the missile, with the Pentagon admitting that Washington can't...
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is, it's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we'll see.
Well, it feels like the hysteria that we have witnessed in the first hours after the deadly missile incident in rural Poland at the border with Ukraine is now over. Not only the U.S. leader, but we hear more and more voices calling for an investigation, expertise before any allegations and accusations, and statements are now being more careful and more balanced. Speaking at the press conference here in Bali just a while, quotation, there is a general impression among the leaders here, end of quotation, that Russia has nothing to do with the attack, adding that the countries are now considering the version of a technical mistake that could have been behind the incident. I had a chance to ask Mr. Erdogan why then some members of the North Atlantic Alliance, before any expertise, before any probe that everybody now agrees is needed, were very quick to point fingers at Russia, while it would certainly lead to a further escalation on the ground in the region, but globally as well. And Mr. Erdogan said that insisting that Russia is involved in what happened in Poland would be a provocation.
There's a general impression that this missile is not Russian-made. I do not think we should insist that this missile was launched by Russia. This would be a provocation.
Erdogan also said that Turkey is now working hard, or continuing working hard, to try to bring Moscow and Kiev together for negotiations, stressing that he believes that this conflict could and should be resolved through peaceful efforts and through dialogue, and certainly groundless accusations do not help these efforts. And he also added that he's planning to talk to Russia's President Vladimir Putin after he's back from the G20. It was a big question at this year's G20 whether its members, torn apart by unprecedented divisions within over how to approach Russia-Ukraine conflict, will at all be able to come to a consensus over the final declaration. And now we hear that the document has been adopted. We heard earlier from Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov that some Western countries wanted the document to be politicized and include condemnation of Russia's special military operation in Ukraine, but some nation of Russia's special military, India, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia at least refused to accept such wording. And now the final edition of the final declaration says that most of the G20 countries condemn military actions in Ukraine, but, quotation, there are other opinions about this situation. G20 final declaration also notes that the use or threat of use of nuclear weapons is unacceptable, that the Ukrainian use of nuclear weapons is unacceptable, that the Ukrainian conflict worsened existing problems of the global economy, and also stressed the importance of the grain deal, so-called Black Sea Grain Initiative, brokered earlier by Turkey and the UN, allowing the export of grain from earlier unblocked Ukrainian ports to poorest countries. And all G20 members are in favor of its extension. If not prolonged, it is supposed to be expired in just a couple of days.
Moving on now, as COP27